My hair looks crap. I have so much dry shampoo in, but whatever. Just gonna tuck it behind our ears and pretend it doesn't really exist. Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing for you every highlighter in my collection. I'm going to talk you through each one, what I like about it, what I maybe don't like about it so much, the particular occasions that I like to use it for, because for me, highlighter, I love wearing highlighter, but there's definitely some that have they are my tried and trues. They have stayed the test of time. I've had them for years. And then there's some that are newer to my collection, but I really love. And then there's some that I only use in that situation, or, you know, if I'm tanned or whatever. If you like this type of video, please do let me know in the comments, because I can do these type of category reviews with all of the categories I have in my makeup collection. I did do a makeup inventory video, which I will link on the screen here. So there I talk through how many products I own in each collection, but I don't go into depth about the products and show you swatches and all of that, because there's just too much. It's too much for one video. It would be very overwhelming for me and for you. So hopefully this is a more manageable way to see what I have in my collection. And yeah, as I say, do let me know down below if you like these types of videos. I have 6 here to talk about, and let's just get into it. So the first one is technically my least favorite, because I'm talking about it first. I'm gonna go from least favorite to most favorite, but just because I'm talking about it first and it's technically my least favorite doesn't mean that I don't still really like it. I don't keep makeup around in my collection if I don't think I'm going to use it or I don't like how it looks. So it gets decluttered, it goes. So the fact that these are still around and have survived declutters means that I really like all of them. This one is the Hourglass Stick highlighter. The only reason that this is my least favorite is because it's kind of dried up now. I've had this for I think 2, maybe 3 years. Honestly, it lasts forever. If you want just one highlight to use, I really recommend just stick makeup in general. You are going to get through it so much slower if you genuinely just want one highlighter, one blush, one bronzer, than powders. You will hit pan on them quicker than, in my experience, quicker than cream sticks. So there is still a lot of product left in here and it has kind of dried out now, so that's why it's not my favorite and I don't really use it very much anymore, but I do still really love the finish of it. This is in Champagne Flash. Cream highlights are great for a natural, wet looking, doesn't look like you've put any highlighter on kind of look, and this is great for that. It does have kind of a champagne undertone. Yeah, it's just so dry. I'm wondering whether to chop the end off so that the product underneath is maybe a bit more creamy, but you can still see it gives a really pretty reflection. It's just a lot drier than it used to be, so it doesn't have that wet kind of glossy look to the skin that it did when I first got it. I got a lot of use out of this the first summer that I bought it, and it's a very bougie luxury product. I actually remember, I think I bought this as a birthday present to myself a couple of years ago, because I was like, I can't justify buying it unless it's a special occasion, because it's just so luxurious. And it is expensive for a highlight, but again, if you are wanting one highlight in your collection and you want a cream highlight, this is a good one to have. Next is Becca Opal. So again, I'm a makeup YouTuber, so I do have quite a lot of products that I just don't use up, but obviously you can get the full size of this. I prefer to get mini sizes of things if I can, because I'm more likely then to use the full thing. The reason that I love this and that I wouldn't personally buy the full size is because I only use this when I have a tan, when I'm on holiday. It always comes in my travel makeup bag with me if I'm going somewhere hot, because it is just the most beautiful. Oh, it's so good for when you have a tan. It's it would be good if you have a dark skin tone anyway, but for me, I can only really get away with it when I am tan, because when I'm pale it just looks way too dark. It's almost like a bronzer shade on me. It kind of has a silver reflect to it, so it just catches the light so beautifully. It has that really wet looking look to your skin. I actually paired this at the weekend with a cream product over top, which I will get to, and I just loved the intense like shine that it gave. I have also been using the Pixie Glow Mist recently just to give an extra layer of glow once I finished all my makeup, and I find that like it really enhances the shine. So if you are looking for like a glowy mist to make your highlighters pop, that's a really good one. I've just used it year after year after year for that purpose when I'm a bit tanned. But yeah, the downside to this is obviously it doesn't suit my skin all year round. They do have some other shades which are really nice. I did find the Becca Moonstone that I had kind of dried out though, but I haven't really found that with this, so I don't know why. But next in the lineup is this Catrice Baked Highlighter in the shade Light Infusion. I don't know what it's called. I think it may be the Glow Highlighting Powder. The like writing on the packaging has all rubbed off, but this, when you swatch it in store, looks so like just I didn't think I was gonna like it. When you swatch it, it looks like it's gonna be really white, like not just, I don't know, it looks like a white powder. It looks like it has loads of glitter in it. It just doesn't look pretty. But when you use this with a brush and just dust it over your cheeks, over the high points of your face, there's something about the brush that just diffuses the powder so perfectly that it just looks wet and glossy on your skin. I love this. I always forget to use it, but whenever I do remember about it and I use it, I'm like, oh my god, I need to use this more because it's so gorgeous. It's really affordable. Catrice isn't that available in the UK. I actually got this when I was in Berlin, so that would have been 2 years ago, but I can't declutter it because every time I go back to it, it's just beautiful. Yeah, really good one if you are wanting a more drugstore option. By the way, I'm not saying that you should keep your products for year after year after year. Obviously, if you think they are going bad, or if they are not performing how they used to, or if they smell funny, definitely declutter them. Don't even question it. You don't want to be putting expired products on your face. These ones I haven't found have gone bad. They don't smell funky. They are generally performing fairly well, except for this one that's dried out a bit. But yeah, just be sensible about keeping your products past the 12-month point. Next on the list is the Balm Mary Loumaniser. So this one is the one I'm probably most ashamed of the time that I have kept this for. I got this when I was in uni, so when did I leave uni? Coming up to 4 years ago, I left uni and I got this like maybe a couple years into uni, so I've probably had this at least 5 years. It's still going strong. I haven't used it recently, but every year I go through kind of a period of just breaking this out and using it again, and every year I'm like, I love this so much. I feel like for so many people it was their first highlighter, but this was my first highlighter as well, and this was like where I really understood what highlighting could do for your makeup. They do have a few shades now, not loads of shades, but this shade is obviously the shade that people with pale skin would use. It's a very like champagne-y undertone. It actually looks very similar in shade to the Champagne Flash. It's almost exactly the same, but obviously one's a cream and one's a powder, so depending what you're looking for formula wise, you may want to pick one or the other. But yeah, the shades in general, they literally look exactly the same. So it's got kind of that yellowy champagne undertone, but if you have a very fair skin complexion, you want to go for something more like this, which is like a whitish silver undertone, because the champagne is going to look really yellow on your skin if you're really like a lot paler than me. It's still going strong. The formula hasn't really changed since I got it. I'm sure it's dried out a little bit, but it hasn't. I've only just hit pan on it. I don't use it all the time because I do kind of like to save it. I don't really want to ever use it up because it's like such a sentimental product in my collection now. If you're looking for a good first time highlighter, you really can't go wrong with this. They do mini versions of these now as well, so there's really nothing to complain about with it other than the fact that maybe I've had it for too long. Okay, Milk Makeup Flex Highlight. I have not tried their cream highlights, but something just drew me into this powder highlight. I think it's because I was watching reviews, and not every person who reviewed it said this, but some people did read the back of the label. You can use this wet or dry, and when I saw someone, I can't even remember who it was someone that I don't watch regularly, but I was just looking up random reviews of this because I was interested in it, and she said that it was able to be used wet, and she'd used it with her beauty blender, and I was like, oh my god, I need that right now. The thing that I love about this and why it's like so high up in my collection, like, you know, ranking, like it's nearly my favorite. It's just a really unique formula because it looks like a cream highlight when you use it with your fingers or when you use it wet, but it's got the like ease of a powder highlight. So cream highlights can just be a bit finicky, they can be messy, you know, you get your fingers messy, and they just sometimes they don't set down properly. If you powder them, then you're going to lose some of the shine. But with this one, because it's a powder, you don't have any of that. It's almost like, I don't know, it's like almost like a powder to cream formula rather than like a cream to powder formula. But it just has such a, it looks like it's got almost a pink undertone. This is the shade Lit. It looks like it's almost got a pink undertone compared to all of the other highlights I've got here on my arm, but it doesn't really come up as pink. It comes up as more of a neutral colour on me. I'm actually wearing this today with something else pressed on top, but this is the highlight that I'm wearing today. So hopefully you can see just how non-chunky it looks. It doesn't look powdery on the skin. It's just very, very natural looking, and that's why I love it so much. However, if you try and use this with a brush, it will look chunky, it will look cakey, it will look just not great. So I definitely recommend using this with your fingers if you are going to use it at all. I just love doing that in the viewfinder and like looking at the reflection, so satisfying. I also think that the packaging on this is nice. It definitely feels more high-end than any of the other highlighters that I've mentioned, other than the Hourglass one, because that's luxury. But this is more of a middle price point, but I think the packaging feels really like weighty. It's got a magnetic closure, it's got a nice mirror in there. It's just a good, feels sturdy. So yeah, to sum up, this one I think is one of the most unique highlighters that I own, which is why I love it so much. But the downside is if you use it with a brush, I don't think you're gonna love how it looks on the skin. It's just a bit too much, you know. Okay, moving on. The top product in my highlight collection for me at the moment is this, the RMS Living Luminizer. The reason that this is my favorite highlight at the moment is, again, because I think it's a really unique formula. I haven't tried a cream highlight quite like this, or a liquid highlight quite like this. I'm wearing this pressed over top of my powder highlight at the moment. You can easily wear it over powder highlight. It's not going to kind of make the product look all like chunky and cakey. You know, some creams you can't apply over powder because they just don't sit right, but this, it's really nice to like enhance your other highlights. So this was also what I pressed over the top of Becca Opal, and I will show you a photo of like the blinding glow that I got with that. But I just think it's such a unique formula. It's a cream highlight, it's almost like a face gloss. It's completely like silver iridescent. It doesn't really have any base color to it. So whereas the Hourglass Stick highlight has more of a champagne undertone, which is similar to the Mary Lou undertone, this doesn't really have any undertone whatsoever because it doesn't have a base color. So it does make it really perfect for layering over other highlights, because it's just going to pick up on the reflect and enhance that and make it pop even more. Or you can use it alone, which I do all the time, and it's just going to pick up on the natural kind of gloss of your skin and just really enhance it, make it look like you haven't put highlight on, but you just naturally glow from within like that. I mean, all of these highlights that I'm talking about do that, because that's just my preferred makeup look style, but this one I think does it like no other. This is truly unique. It is expensive, like it's kind of ridiculous how much it costs for the tiny amount that this is. The benefit to that is that it's like good to travel with, small, compact, fits in the palm of your hand, but the downside is, you know, there's like, it's like very expensive for the amount of product that you use. But because cream highlights, you use such a tiny amount every time you use them, it's going to take me a long time to go through one of these. I really like it. I do think it's worth the money. RMS is a more green, natural brand as well, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, I think this is a great one to go with. So one other downside I would say is that it gets messy because you're having to dig your hands in, and it's not the most hygienic of products, but I forgive it because I think if it was in a stick form, it wouldn't work quite so well if you were drawing it on. So I think the only way you can get the full effect of this is by using it on your fingers somehow. So, you know, whether they did it in a stick or a pot, it's probably going to be just as unsanitary to really get the full effect of the product. I've spoken for long enough. That is the end of this video. Those are all of the highlighters that I own. Please do let me know what your favorite highlighters are down below. I would love to know. One that I've always been curious about is the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wand, the Ilia highlighters. There's both the stick one and the liquid one. Curious about those. Like any highlighters that you have used that you truly love or don't love, let me know in the comments so that I can do some mental online shopping, because I'm trying not to buy too much stuff right now. I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Honestly, I can't even like properly string a sentence together today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you do want to see more from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.